Stanley Melbourne Bruce was Australia's 8th Prime Minister. That was back in the 1920s, the racy, roaring 20s. But none of that was for Stanley. Cartoonists of the day loved making fun of his old-fashioned appearance, and they really loved his spiffy spats. But that only made Stanley more determined to wear them. He was his own man. He was also a World War I hero. He received the Military Cross and the French Croix de Guerre. But his most treasured possession wasn't those bravery medals. Prime Minister Bruce's treasure is here at the National Archives of Australia in Canberra. It's something you don't see much nowadays. It's a gold cigarette case, and that's why I have my special white gloves on. When I pick it up, if you have a look at the front of it, you can see it's been engraved with a sort of exotic Middle Eastern design, and in the very centre is a stylised letter B. When I open it up, you can see there's an engraving in here that says 20 Temmuz. Now Temmuz is Turkish for July, 1936. But more importantly, here's the name of the man who gave him this cigarette case, K. Atatürk. That's Kemal Ataturk, who's the first president of modern Turkey. So what do these two blokes have in common? Well, after he left politics, Bruce was a top international diplomat. In 1936, he chaired a League of Nations conference that restored Turkey's naval access to the strategic Dardanelles Straits, which made Ataturk a very happy president. This precious cigarette case was his way of saying thanks to Bruce. But Bruce and Ataturk had another connection involving the Dardanelles. 21 years earlier, in 1915, they both fought there at Gallipoli. Ataturk's troops stopped the Australian forces at Anzac Cove, which made him a national hero. And he was in charge at Suvla Bay, and that's where our bloke, Captain Bruce, earned his bravery medals fighting for the British. And it gets better. Gallipoli pretty much launched both their political careers. Bruce campaigned as a returned war hero, and Ataturk went from soldier to statesman just 5 years after the war. You see, Ataturk became president of Turkey in 1923. Now that's the very same year Stanley Melbourne Bruce took over as Prime Minister of Australia. Isn't that the most extraordinary coincidence? In his 6.5 years as PM, Bruce forged the Conservative coalition that still exists and oversaw Parliament's move from Melbourne to Canberra in 1927. So Bruce had the honour of being the first PM to sit here, in what is now called Old Parliament House. But 2 years later, he had another dubious honour. He became the only PM to lose his seat while in office. Well, so far anyway. But Bruce continued to serve Australia for many years as a highly respected diplomat in Britain and Europe. And the question is, why was a man whose achievements saw him become Viscount Bruce, a peer of the realm, so attached to Ataturk's simple gift? Well, maybe the case itself holds a clue. I want to show you this. On the back is a design. It's a 10-pointed star, but if you look closely, it's actually 2 5-pointed stars interlocked. Now, as a bit of a war buff, I can tell you that the 5-pointed star is a very important military symbol, and it's also closely associated with Turkish culture. So maybe this was Ataturk's way of saying that somehow he and Bruce were kindred spirits. Bruce clearly thought they were. You see, he had only 2 photographs in his study. One was of his wife, but the other was of Kemal Ataturk, the soldier turned statesman who gave him this gold engraved cigarette case, which makes it one of our national treasures.